comic books, movies, growing up with Rokusuki. Superman before Zack Snyder ruined him. Michael Keaton was the best Batman, while Christian Bale was just deadpan. No one remembers the other ones. Princess Leia in bikinis and Transformer Lamborghinis. Please don't let Shia LaBeouf ever act again.
Please, God, no.
Remembering tales from the crypt, back when Michael Bay wrote good scripts.
He wrote the
All
script.
right here is no mystery, 'cause it's the history of bad.
It's bad.
It's the history of bad.
So bad.
It's the history of bad ideas. It's the history of bad.
It's bad.
It's the history of bad.
So bad.
It's the history of bad ideas.
Podcast.
Please note that any comments, jokes, questions, maybe anything that we say on the history of bad ideas is all in good fun. And remember, we insult everybody. Our thoughts, opinions, questions, anything else, actions that we do on the show do not reflect any of our employers, organizations, advertisers, or anyone else that is associated with the history of bad ideas. And remember, at the end of the day, it's just a joke. Welcome to the History of Bad Ideas, episode number 338. I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Okay.
No one else decided to show up yet. They're all running late.
They are running late. Intern Hackney has a reason.
Well, yeah, it's his birthday. He doesn't have to show up.
Yes. And there's the rumor has it that he might be promoted from intern. So
What?
I
was not consulted on this.
We have an application in for the intern because we're interviewing for the intern job. And it is from the 365 Flicks guys. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's Kevin or Chris. So, because
or are they
of
both?
I don't know.
They realize they only get one salary. If it's two of them, it's still only one salary.
I know. We got to be careful on the IOUs, to be honest. It's tough. It is tough. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. And if so, then intern Hackney becomes assistant to the host. So that's kind of a nice job.
Oh, so, regional assistant?
That's a good call. Regional assistant to the host. So
First assistant.
Blake, welcome.
Hello.
We are on air. Yeah, Blake.
I didn't see the red light.
I apologize for that. So, Blake, how you doing over there?
Doing okay.
Good. Yeah, nothing too exciting here.
No.
Life is going back to a little bit more normalcy. You guys are playing softball.
Yeah. Okay.
If that's what you want to call it.
Well, it's normal. I mean, life, Blake, have you been to any retail stores? No?
Nope.
Okay.
Do you count Home Depot?
Yeah, that counts.
They're retail.
I've been to Home Depot when they were restricting number entry, and I've been to Home Depot when they're now just letting any yokels in.
Yes. So
Lowe's was letting people in no matter what. It didn't matter how many people were in the store. There was no restricted entry to Lowe's.
They just didn't have enough people wanting to get in.
Oh, well, they also had later hours, too. Lowe's was open like an hour later than all the Home Depots.
Well, Lowe's is a better store.
Uh-huh.
Lowe's is more expensive. So, you rich folk...
the only problem I have with Lowe's is that...
No.
I just have to remember that everything's the opposite of Home Depot's. Like, they do it on purpose, to the left of my Home Depot's got the gardening outdoors and the light bulbs.
Yep.
And the woods on the right. And when I go into Lowe's, light bulbs are to the right and all the wood to the left. It's confusing.
I agree with you.
Honestly, I think the local ones for me are pretty much set up the same.
What?
Isn't it? No, wait, yeah,
it is opposite, Jeff.
Right.
It is opposite.
Okay.
Welcome to
talking about, Jason. You have no clue.
Welcome to Hardware Talk. Normalcy is returning just in time for that second wave. So woo! But yeah,
there is no second wave.
I hope not.
It's always been here and always will be here.
Yeah, we flattened.
That's right. We flattened.
Did we? Did we?
No, it's
Yes,
flat.
we did.
Okay.
It's plateaued. It
Okay.
didn't go down.
It's
It's
just-
just flat. It's not going up. It's staying even.
Staying the
Well,
same.
it depends what kind of fear porn you're tapping into. It's going up in all the free Republican states, you know.
Now, down the
Well,
hall.
I suppose in the other states it's not, so it balances out.
I want
mean,
to see all the spikes from the protests, and if there's no spikes from the protests, then I say we're good to go for the
It's been
summer.
a week and a half, right, for the protest? 2 weeks, almost.
Yeah, it's about that time. We should see something.
My kids' baseball has started. They're 7 games into it, so it is kind of funny. Like the first 2 weeks, you can watch the crowds. Again, we had more people there at my kids' games than I've ever seen because I think everybody just wanted to get the fuck out of the house. And it was funny, like everybody was spaced out the first couple of weeks, like first 4 games or so. The last 3 games, they're a little bit closer, not as many masks. It was kind of like, you know,
like I said, we've had our softball for 2 weeks now, and the first week it seemed like there weren't a whole lot of fans or kids. Yeah, they're starting to come back. There were like kids running around the second week and more fans and whatnot. And I'm like, come on, people! This is like,
Thanks.
Middle-aged men's softball. Why the hell are you here? Why do we have any fans? There should be no fans for middle-aged men's softball.
And I'll be honest, even when there's
Speak for yourself, man.
I kind of am.
I know you are.
I'll be honest.
I like some of the fans that come to watch.
They're not. Oh, those aren't fans coming to watch. Those are people trying to, like, what's the words I'm looking for? Find a sugar daddy. Is that the words I'm looking for?
What type of a softball league you guys got? It's a sugar daddy softball league.
Well, you think about it. There are 2 types of softball hoes.
What?
The first type of softball hoe is the guy that doesn't really pay to be on any team, but he shows up at the softball fields anyways and walks around. It's like, hey, you need a player? And you let him play because, you know, you got that kind of softball hoe.
Because you need a player.
Exactly. You know, they prostitute themselves in their services for the game. And then there's the other ladies of tight, short repute that there were plenty of last week, by the way, Jason. You missed it.
I don't know if I missed it, Bob. I just wasn't there. And I'll be honest, Jeff, even when there's no COVID around, I don't want kids running around softball fields.
I agree.
You know, all I have to say is that softball and Little League Baseball are doing a hell of a better job than Major League Baseball.
That is true.
I'm going to come see your kids play, Jason. I'm going to be
That's fine.
Are they doing a better job? Maybe not playing is the right thing to do. We just don't know yet.
You shut your whore mouth.
Thank you. Hey,
We
Blake,
don't need no negative Nellies on this.
I mean, now we're getting football players being diagnosed with the COVID.
I did like how Ezekiel...
Yeah, but is that a bad thing? Are they being diagnosed because they're sick with the COVID, or are they just showing up because they got antibodies with the COVID?
I have no clue.
See, we need these distinctions made, and they don't make that in the media.
I like how Ezekiel Elliott was yelling about HIPAA, and and it's like, well, if the doctor didn't, release it, if you told somebody, and that person
do you not know? Yeah. Do you not know what HIPAA? Who is in violation of HIPAA? Because your agent isn't one of them.
Supposedly, the agent didn't release it, but
he just agreed to it.
But even so, it doesn't matter if Ezekiel Elliott told a friend and that friend went to the press. That's not HIPAA rules. That's not HIPAA breaking.
Well, also the simple fact of the matter is when you sign a contract for professional sports, you're pretty much waiving your HIPAA rights because the team, and according to the contract you signed, the team is allowed to know pretty much every medical thing about you for them to pay you those millions of dollars to play their sport.
And they have to release a certain amount of medical information because Vegas requires it.
Yeah.
For gambling purposes.
No.
I mean, they're not going to say that, but that's what it's for.
But the teams get to know, and then the teams have to report it to the league. And, that's not covered by HIPAA. HIPAA covers the medical staff and the insurance companies, and that's about it.
Yeah, they're not supposed to release your information to anybody, but if you sign a waiver, because you get paid millions of dollars, you're right, Chad.
Hey, Blake, speak of, you said Little League Baseball. If you want to come to my kids' game, I got to figure out what day is a good one because it's Little League Baseball. So my kids' team lost 2, won 4 in a row, and in those 4 games, they basically run-ruled every team by 3. They run-ruled 3 of the 4 teams, like 20-5 and all that.
Cool.
No. And then they played last night, and they lost 17-2. And I'm like, I feel like there's a big difference. So I feel like on any given day, who knew a 10-year-old's team could switch like that?
Well, that's right. They're 10 years old.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when I do come, I have to bring my own cooler of beer, and then you're gonna have to let me know whose children I'm allowed to heckle.
That's fine. Well,
you're allowed to heckle any children.
That's right.
If they didn't want to be heckled, they wouldn't be playing sports.
I'd be asking what the batting average is.
I got
Come on,
that.
Cuz,
I got the
do the
stats.
double switch. What are you doing?
You want to bet on the game, Blake?
Go to your bullpen.
Well, it is funny because we got through the one game and they lost, and the one kid told us, "I thought you guys would be yelling at us because you lost." Yeah, no, you're fine.
That's part of the game, man.
But they've seen other adults act like that.
I mean, we get on them for like, hey, you guys need to do this or that. I raise my voice because I'm just loud to begin with. But it's like, yeah, we're not yelling at you. He's like, oh. And we're like, what team were you on last year that you were getting yelled at for everything? I was like, that's not a good environment.
No. Well, there are some parents that go pretty nuts. I remember when the girls' soccer team, they're like 8 years old, and they were like undefeated for the first season. And then the next season, they're like undefeated, and we went and played in the snow, and we're in the tournament championship, and they lost. You would have thought that some of these parents were just going flipping ape shit, man, like insane. I'm like, they're 9 years old, and this is what happens. They're not 10 Messis out there on the field. Nobody's getting paid millions of dollars. This is kids soccer.
Well, that's the fun.
And even if there were 10 Messis getting paid millions of dollars, teams lose. I mean, I don't understand why people get so. But especially towards children, that's ridiculous.
I will say, my son doesn't play football. We don't let him, and that's. I don't care if your kids play football, go for it, but we just don't want him to. So, but he played flag football, and he played flag football indoors. He played he plays soccer, and he plays a little bit of volleyball, and he plays baseball. So, of all the parents that crowds I've seen, like opposing teams and that, I will say football is probably the worst that I've seen. I think football might be the most awful. I don't know why. I just feel like it.
I think a lot of it has to do with the football culture, and it is across all boards. I remember when we used to work together, Jason. Yep. When I was out in the field, there was one guy that we used to work with, one of the repair facilities, and during Pee Wee football, he was on the phone all day talking Pee Wee football because he was a coach. All day. Every time I'd walk in there and I'd be sitting in his office with our laptop and I'd be going through making my stuff all day. And as soon as he got off the phone with one person, it was the next person he started talking to all day. Those people are nuts, man.
And
not everybody, but
no.
There's a lot of those Pee Wee football parents are pretty nutty.
And again, you'll get nuts. You get people nuts and everything. I mean, there's baseball teams out there, 10, 11, 12 years old, that fly kids in to play for, in tournaments all over the country. And I'm like, why? What the fuck's wrong with you? It's like, it's just kind of, like Jeff said, it is kind of sad just to see it all like, and again, I don't know if there's ever I don't know if it's high school athletes that are no longer high school athletes, so they're trying to win trophies now. But it definitely is funny and sad to see at the same time.
When you're that age, it all should be just learning the game and having fun.
Correct. What do you want to say, Jeff?
I was going to say that you said the words that I think I might realize now. I'm not that way because I never won trophies.
Oh.
Maybe if you were good at sports when you were a kid, you want to yell at other kids.
Did you win participation of ribbons?
They didn't have those when I was a kid.
Oh, man. Man, you just lost on everything.
What do you mean on everything? I still got my good looks.
Well, yeah. I'm just talking, no trophies, no participation ribbons. Ugh.
Well, when you're in high school, you had academic challenge.
Did you?
Not in my school, we didn't.
What?
Wasn't there.
You guys didn't have academic challenge?
Nope.
On the public access TV with all the high schools?
Nope.
No.
It must have been a Northeast Ohio thing.
If they did, they didn't advertise it, so I never joined the team or never heard out how they did, and they never made the yearbook. So,
moving on from Little League talk this week, Jeff, did you watch anything this week?
I did.
What'd you watch?
I watched the second season of Dead to Me.
Oh, how did you like it?
I did. I liked it.
Okay. How many seasons is there?
There are 2.
Okay.
So I'm caught up with the current. I suppose that was released about a month ago or so, the second season.
Okay.
So I'm now caught up on that. I watched the last half season of How to Get Away with Murder.
The final season?
The final season. So
Okay.
that's over with.
Okay.
The last season was not quite as good as the earlier seasons. But
Anything else?
Well, I think that was quite a lot.
Okay, I'm just asking.
That was quite a lot. Well, what was I did rewatch X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to say X versus Sever for a second.
No. No, X-Men Apocalypse, which wasn't as bad as I had remembered it. So, still not good by any stretch of any imagination, but the story seemed to flow a little bit better this time, so maybe I just wasn't paying attention, or maybe it was, I don't know. It just didn't feel as choppy.
X-Men Apocalypse is one of those bad films that I turn on every time it's on TV. I have to turn it on just to see how bad it is. It's not good.
This is the first time I've turned it on since the first time I've watched it. But.
Oh. Blake, do you watch anything recently?
Well, I got I recorded the documentary series on History Channel about Grant.
How was that?
I'm like, well, there's 3 2-hour episodes. I'm in the middle of episode, well, near the episode 2 ending, where Grant finally gets called to D.C. by Abraham Lincoln. And it's good.
Oh, I thought you meant Horace Grant.
No, not Horace Grant. Living under the shadow of,
Fuck Jordan.
Michael
I want the
Jordan.
Horace Grant documentary, the 30 for 30.
Yeah. The promise that never lived up to the hype, or never got the chance.
98% of basketball players they never live up to the hype. I mean, come on. What about Greg? What happened to Greg Odom?
According to Kyrie Irving, only 20 of them make any real money.
Yeah, okay.
Every single one of them make real money.
Every single one of
Even
them.
the worst one makes real money.
I think the lowest pay in the NBA is $300,000 or something like that. If you're the 12th man on the team, $300,000 is a pretty good check right there.
Well, remember, Kyrie's a flat earther too, so
he is. He is a flat earther.
Being rich doesn't make you smart.
But the horizon, Blake, the flat Earth horizon. Come on.
Correct.
Come
I don't
on.
understand what that means. The horizon's proof that
it's a
the
flat
horizon's
Earth.
proof that it's not flat.
No.
Not according to them.
You shut your mouth, Jeff. You're spouting lies again.
The Grant documentary, Blake, did not get good reviews. People kept saying it was like history light. They said of all of the documentaries that they do, they thought this was the weakest. It got multiple bad reviews.
Was it that it was a bad series, or that Grant just isn't that exciting to do a documentary on?
Low from A, low from B.
I think if you really think about it, it's more B. You know, they come. You know, it is true. I mean, you think about it. It's good that I watched this and I renew. You know what I know about Ulysses Grant, and I knew a lot of this stuff. I forgot about it. Because last time I probably looked at any of this stuff was like 30 plus years ago. And the one thing I do remember, he was a bland guy, but really smart. Never given the credit that he should have. And even when Lincoln calls him to D.C. to the Eastern Theater, and after all that, a bunch of people who don't really know too much about strategy and just basic history says, they're going to win anyways. I'm like, no, Lee was kicking everybody's ass, there for a while. And Grant knew, which I'm going to, probably see here in the next thing. Grant knew, hey, all I got to do is keep attacking them everywhere. And I've got the resources, we got the money, we've got the power, we've got the people. And we're just going to, I'm not going to be worried about losing a battle, but I'm going to win the war. And that's what, he basically just put his, boot down on the, boot down and kept, crushing,
Well, they also had
pressure.
They didn't have the transportation in the South either, the trains or the railroads as much. So
well, and a lot of that was because Grant took care of that out in the Western Theater.
Correct.
But he was under lots. One thing I do remember, he was under a lot of heavy criticism about the siege of Vicksburg because of the civilians that were in the city. And, they touch on it a little bit, with a little bit of criticism. But that's one of the things I remember is, they, depending upon who you talk to, they rub them really rough because civilians starved and were underneath the shelling of the city at the same time. So I think a lot of that comes from, the losing side of the historian battle. But he, and they'd even make a point out of it in the documentary. He's like, I like this one historian's quote. He's the most unheroic hero of this entire Civil War. And he never gets full credit for what he did, so.
He is on the $50 bill.
He is on the $50 bill.
Some credit.
And so they may touch on it in his presidency here in the third one too. His presidency, of course, is kind of lackluster as well, but but hey, you really think about it, he is, kind of like an everyman who does really well, but he never gets full credit for what he did.
So he's like Cincinnatus.
Yeah. The Greek guy that founded Cincinnati here in Ohio. Right. Yeah.
Farmer.
It was Roman, not Greek.
It's Greek to me, Jeff. It's Greek to me.
Yeah. But they do kind of, it is kind of easy, but I think they do give you a lot of insight into, he's an everyman. He did a really good job and he doesn't get credit for it. And I wonder if he doesn't get as much credit for it because, half the historians look at him with a biased eye because, they are on the losing side of history. And it's very interesting. I tell people this all the time. When, during in between one of my college semesters, I was on a training mission for 2 weeks. And we were all together and we're in a hotel room kicking time because it's the end of the day. We're done training. We got nothing else to do. And we're breaking out cards. Midwest Yankees are playing euchre. We're mixing up with everybody else from around the country, playing, spades or whatever, because nobody plays euchre outside of the Midwest unless, you had family in the Midwest. And so I remember sitting down with two Georgia guys, I'm like, hey, where are you from? I'm saying, I'm from Ohio. And they both looked at me and one of them was like, Sherman was from Ohio. And I looked and I said, oh, don't worry. I'm not going to light any matches. So it's interesting how a lot of that shit is still ingrained, to this day. Even a couple of years ago, on another training thing with some, folks from the South. And of course, after some beers come out, talking about the War of Northern Aggression. And this guy starts talking about this book, about this whole thing, about how it was a Northern conspiracy, and blah, 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 blah. And I said, look, it was states' rights, but you're using states' rights for slave states. I mean, it's pretty much really what it came down to. It all started with the compromise, 20, 30 years before. It started with the compromise with the Constitution, with what we had, or else it wouldn't fit. And a lot of these people forget, a lot of people, you got to understand the time and the context too. Lee was a third generation from the people fighting the Civil War, 3 generations from this Revolutionary War. So a lot of people still considered themselves like Virginian before a United States citizen, or Pennsylvanian, or Vermont, or Connecticut, or Georgian before they were the United States. And so you really think if you're Lee, they offered him, the generalship for the Union, but he looked at it and was like, holy crap, I'm going to be fighting my family, my Virginians, and blah, blah, blah. And so he went obviously to the other side, but not say that, people got to remember the context and put yourself in their shoes, like, oh, Lee's such a traitor. I'm like, well, what are you going to do? Think about it in smaller context. You're a Cincinnatian and you're going to go to war with the Harrisons.
Hey.
Jason, are you going to join the Cincinnati side and, fight your neighbors? Or are you going to, it's basically,
I'll be honest, I'll probably be in
about
Canada.
the whole thing,
I'll just go to Canada.
Just go to Canada and forget it. Yeah, exactly.
Did they?
But it is interesting. Yeah, you're right. The documentary is. I thought it was an okay documentary. Mm-hmm. It's not. I sit there and I go, oh yeah, I remember that. But you got to remember, he's no Caesar. He's no flamboyant. Statesman. He's. Again, he's an every guy. He's an everyman. And I think Petraeus. They got Petraeus in here as one of the commentators talking about Grant. And Petraeus is really good in bringing you, a lot of the military, side. And also they also got a couple of other military historians. Some of the people they got in there for fluff, but, overall, he was a pretty good guy. And that's pretty much it. He was a good guy.
To make a short story long.
Okay, make a short story long. I'm sorry. But
let me
sure.
Ask, good.
Yeah.
So did they focus on his life or did they just focus on him? Like,
they do a good job of giving his background.
Okay.
That's what I was how he grew up. He's born, here in Ohio, but ended up living in Illinois. His parents were strict abolitionists. He married into a slave trading family in Missouri. And it's interesting. So his entire family boycotted the wedding, so it's kind of interesting. And you really think about it, this guy, ends up going to West Point, but didn't want to, but his dad signed him up and got him accepted and sent him there. And so that actually, one of the good things that they talk about is when the Civil War breaks out and he's basically coming back from nothing again. Because he went out, he did an all right job of the Mexican, Mexican War. Does some really good stuff. Mexican-American War. Ends up becoming an alcoholic out of some outpost in California. Forced to resign because of that, But he's happy because he has to go back home to his wife and kids. But then he's just, destitute. He's poor at a point. Basically, he's got nothing. I mean... And then this war breaks out, and he thinks, he basically joins the Union side. Joins the Union side because he's a patriot, and blah 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 blah, and then things start looking back up for him again. So like I said, he's an everyman, and he's not a flamboyant dude.
There.
Hold on, Blake. I think we got someone interrupting. Hold on.
Yeah.
Interrupting. I'm the one that's podcasting right now.
Hold on.
You can't hear Brian, but he's staring at me like, what is going on?
I'm about to say, so you guys get story time with Blake on your podcast, too.
I'm getting Blake involved to the Salty Language podcast. Tony's here with us. We're talking about the Grant documentary.
Yeah, Tony.
Hey, we're talking about the PS5.
Oh, well, we're talking about Grant. We got history over here, bitches.
We got future history, I guess. I don't know.
Damn it! Can I come on?
Yeah,
your
we're
show?
talking about the past. They're talking about the
Good point. He says it's about time you guys start talking about actual history.
We were finally a history podcast there for about 15 minutes, and then boom, it's all blown up now.
So, Tony, are you recording still over there?
Yes, we are still recording. Brian, I'd like to ask you a question. What's that, Brian?
What?
Okay, so Brian Brigger would like to hear your best Grant impression.
Grant. Oh, okay. Blake, I need your help on this one. Blake, with Grant, what did he have a Southern drawl? Even though he was from Ohio, what kind of voice did he have? I need to get in the character of this.
He really liked them taters.
No,
like,
it's my job. My job. Hold on.
No,
Hold on.
yeah, think of him from Sling Blade, but speak tactically.
Okay.
militarily.
Let me get that. The South won't rise again. Not when I'm in control. I reckon you're going to hell, and here's a handbag on the way.
Who is that?
I'm Grant.
Oh, now I know.
Was that good?
That was stunning.
You know, I've had Grant's ancestors tell me I sound just like him. I've heard that before.
Was it from a cease and desist?
Tony, I didn't know you were recording right now. We were just doing Skype roulette, and
we were supposed to record yesterday, but the tech gods hate us, so it derailed everything. So we
I
had to
saw
record.
that. I saw you had the tech gods derail you.
Good day ever.
And since Brian can't see me, I'm flipping him off. You know, Brian, that's what you get. That's what you get, Brian, my arch nemesis.
Yeah, you guys are almost talking. It's crazy.
They need a mediator.
Brian just
Yeah,
said
I'm gonna shut up now because
nemesis, or for you to be his nemesis, he has to recognize you as his arch nemesis.
Oh.
I see how it is.
Can Brian?
that's right. Is it
Jason's
really a
arch
rivalry when you've lost to him 10 times in a row? I mean,
Shut up, Blake. Shut it.
nemesis? But can Brian be Jason's arch nemesis, but Jason not necessarily Brian's? Can it work that way?
I mean, I don't see why not.
I feel like that. I feel like change approved.
Like Burn the Monarch.
Well, Tony, I'll let you get back to your show. I was just saying hi.
I mean, it's good. It's nice to have Hobie live on Salty Language for like 10 minutes or whatever.
You know what? You can call us anytime. We will be more than happy to come on the Salty Language show. I know I've been banned by Brian, but if I come on the show, I can do multiple impressions that you won't even know it's Jason. It could be, hello, I'm Michael Caine. Some people just want to watch the Wood Bud. It could be, get to the chopper. I'm sure it's
Theory, have a big bag of names, and we can just pull names out of a hat and see if they do.
Okay, I need 3. Go. Let's go.
Oh, no, I'm talking about for future, Hobie Salty Language crossover.
I'll be honest, you kind of got me erect there for a second. I was pretty happy.
Brian, wait, I just got a request from Brian. He'd like to hear your Kevin James.
I don't know who that is. I don't acknowledge Kevin James. He can go fuck himself.
Ouch.
I'm all for that cross-dressing podcast. Let me know.
All right. Well, we'll get our skirts together and we'll figure it out.
Thanks, guys. You have a good show.
It's not a skirt; it's a kilt.
Later, guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So we're on the Salty Language show tonight.
Hooray!
Blake, that was not indicative of your story at all. I was just, in the last 5 minutes, I just been calling people. So
no, that's okay. I get carried away with stuff.
So let me ask you this. So
yeah,
I love the History Channel's documentaries. I really do.
I do. They do some really good stuff. And
I feel
when
like
they're not talking about aliens and Hitler.
It's aliens, isn't it? It's always aliens.
Always aliens.
Yeah, it's always aliens.
I feel like at least with History Channel, and again, I could be wrong, but their documentaries, at least I feel like it's mostly accurate what they're doing because it's history. So in theory, it should be accurate.
Yeah, it is pretty good, and I don't think that they made this overly political. because before I started this, I just read a headline about Leonardo DiCaprio's Grant documentary is a big middle finger to the South. And I'm saying, of course I didn't click on the story because I don't want to give it a clickbait,
You mean
you didn't see that?
The guy who led the army to defeat the Confederacy, doing a documentary on him, doesn't paint the South in a good light?
Yeah, I didn't click on it, but this was, I think it's produced by DiCaprio. But you can tell they do some computer generated battle scenes and stuff. It is actually pretty good. I mean, I thought it was okay. I think they try and show a little bit. They don't go into the atrocities of the Civil War. They don't go really into a lot of the death count. So I could see how it's a little glossed over, because it was a brutal war, and they do talk about it a little bit, like. The last of the ancient wars, the first of the modern, and you think about it, but they do some graphic fighting scenes there.
Do again.
But I don't see how this is a big middle finger to the South. I mean, if you're there, it's anybody that watches this shouldn't be offended by anything,
because everyone's offended.
If anybody's offended by war and violence, then okay, there you go. But I think they do a very middle of the road, hey, this is it. He wasn't an exciting guy, doesn't get the credit he should, but he was just a normal Joe, basically, who did really well. Turned out to be pretty smart, genius, military,
Hey, so. Blake, everyone's offended by everything now.
Yeah, I know. I probably pissed people off in the past 20 minutes.
So he was 60 some odd years old, and they're doing a documentary on him, and they have to gloss over some things about the Civil War. It's like 4 years of this 63-year-old life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not a Civil War documentary. It's a U.S. Grant documentary.
Yeah, but a lot of they do spend like the first hour. They do a lot of his background in the Mexican-American War, and they give him they do a really good setup to who this guy is when he starts getting involved in the Civil War, which is really what he's known for, right?
Yeah.
So like I said, he's no Caesar where he's got 20 years, gets captured by pirates and tells him his ransom's too low, and then says, oh yeah, by the way, you should double my ransom. Oh, by the way, I'm going to come back and kill you all, which he did, which is pretty fun. He's none of that. I mean, he's really known for these 4 years, and these 4 years, basically, he saved the Union. Literally. So, I mean, this is it. This is his 4-year, time period. A lot of times, leadership is right place, right time, and the right things happening with the right people in the right places. I mean, he was one of those guys, and he's just an average Joe with, pretty good strategy, military mind. He did what he did, and then he was done.
Can we go back to Julius Caesar? When did he become the Dred Scott Pirate, or whatever from Princess Bride?
Dred Scott Pirate.
Dred Pirate Scott.
Just say that.
The Dred Scott Pirate. Man, you do have some like goofy Civil War on your head, don't you?
I think we're going to get canceled after that comment.
Cancel Hobie. Real quick here.
But yeah, you're right, Jeff. This is a documentary of this guy's entire life, and they focus on 4 years. And you're right in that respect. But like I said, he's an average Joe except for these 4 years.
The whole last episode, Jeff, of episode 3 is just how he petitions to be on the $50 bill. That's it. That's all it is. They don't do anything else about his life. That's it. I watched. This is not history. Well, it could be. It may be the history in the future. I watched The Hunt, the one I've been looking forward to for months now, for like over a year.
The big controversial.
Yeah. So the controversy is that basically,
was it really controversial?
No, okay, so here's the twist. Basically, Democrats kidnap Republicans Well, they don't say that, but that's what it comes
Do they
down
actually?
to.
Yeah, they don't actually say it.
No.
It's
It's just
implied.
yeah. They capture them and then they go hunting for them. So that's the big controversy, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Who cares? You know what? You see a lot of movies the opposite way. I don't really care. It's a movie. Who cares? And so that was the big thing. Looking back.
Quick question, though. How are the Democrats hunting the Republicans without guns?
They are using guns, and they said it's the ends justifies the means. So. So they're getting people that don't believe in global warming, and they get all these people, that are against refugees and all this stuff. So there's actually some humorous parts in it, like, these rich assholes that are hunting them, just how oblivious they are. But they're like, they have one guy that's I'm trying to think, I think he's Indian, and they're like, we need you to be the fake refugee for this thing. And he's like, why? They're like, well, you're the only guy of color here. Sorry, you're doing it. So, I mean, there's humorous parts to it. It is funny, but like the whole controversy about this gore and that, I'm like, this is dumb. There's no reason why. There's no reason why this should have had the controversy it did. It was dumb. Well,
how many movies are there in the past 20, 30 years where there's been like rich white guys hunting poor people, and homeless people? What was the movie? Was it
Surviving the
Ice Cube? Surviving the game. I mean,
that's what it kind of is. This movie was. The problem is, like, there was a lot of like known actors that don't last long. Like, I was like, oh, he's in it. That's kind of cool. Nope, he's dead. Oh, this person's like, nope, they're dead. But I mean, I wish they would have gone. It was a 97-minute movie, if that. And I was like, I wish it was a little bit longer because they didn't do enough background in a lot of the people. Which I guess was kind of their point, you just take them at face value, blah, blah, blah. But
not enough character development. Terrible movie.
That was my issue, is that it wasn't a lot of character. I give it a C, maybe C-. I mean, it went down to $6, so that's why I rented it. So I wasn't going to spend $20, so it went down to $6. So I was like, I can handle $6.
It wasn't quite the hit in the Chaz zone in Seattle that they thought it would be.
No, no, it's not Blake. Okay. I like I said, I was happy I saw it, but it's a good hour and a half to spend your time, but it's not really that great. They could have done a lot more to it, though. But don't think that's this big controversy. It's not. Just fucking go enjoy a movie. So, and after everything that's fucking happened in 2020, who the fuck cares? This is the least amount. This is our least worries right now.
Biggest thing. Yeah, I got the Crow, City of Angels recorded. I don't think I've ever seen that. I can't even remember if I ever seen it.
Is that because I've second or third?
Because in quarantine, that's the second one, isn't it?
I think it's the second.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've seen The Crow about 5 times now in lockdown. So.
Oh yeah, great film.
And I was about to say screw it because it was right on after The Crow, but before I said I was turning off because I was going to bed. But then I was directed by Timothy Pope, and I went, Timothy Pope. I know that name. Why do I know that name? So I looked it up. I was like, oh yeah, he's the guy that did all the Cure videos for Robert Smith and the Cure for all those years. I said, all right, I like Cure and I like the videos, so I'll record it.
Who plays the Crow in it?
Yet. Robert Smith, I think.
Robert Smith.
Oh. You might as well admit it.
Video?
You're addicted to love.
That's Robert
God,
Palmer.
that's Robert Palmer.
Yep.
Although those were a bunch of goth chicks behind them. So
you might as well admit it. You're addicted to love. Yeah. Welcome to the Cure. Anyways, speaking of people getting things wrong, Blake, you had an interesting quote last week that people liked on Twitter.
So I see in the Twitter poll and stuff, yeah.
Twitter poll of the week. You can follow us at Bad Ideas Podcast on Twitter or like us on the History of Bad Ideas Facebook page. We appreciate it. We give you lots of news updates and entertainment news and all that. Finish Blake's quote from last week. You get more honey from bees than blank. The The correct saying is you get more bees from honey, but Blake decides you get more honey from bees.
What?
That's what happens when I drink.
What
when
did
I
you
drink
say
and
the correct
podcast.
statement was?
That's what happens when I drink and podcast.
No,
Shut up, Jeff. I think I screwed it up too.
You screwed it up again?
He said you get more bees from honey. Which makes even less sense.
Twitter poll of the week next week.
There you go. Are you drinking, Jason?
No, I'm not.
You should be.
You get more honey from bees than ladybugs. You get more honey from bees than camel spiders. More honey from bees than Jello. Or more honey from bees than goats.
I like that.
Tied for last place, 15% ladybugs and Jello. So you obviously do not get that. And winning 38% to 32% camel spiders over goats. So that's a rough one. Camel spiders won because everybody said on Twitter that voted for it they're pretty fucking creepy. So
they are creepy, man.
All right,
you ever
now
seen
my
a camel
question,
spider?
Yes, I have.
My question is, does that mean you get more honey from bees than you get from honey from camel spiders?
Yes.
Or does that mean you get more honey from bees than you get camel spiders from bees?
Yes. Just yes. Anyways, we're only 45 minutes into it. Blake, what do you got for some listener feedback? You want to do this?
Yeah, listener feedback brought to you by drinking and podcasting. All right. That's how you get quotes
on the
for the Twitter poll of the week. All right, so yeah, we start from that number one guy who he usually gives us a lot of honey week in and week out.
Number one fan.
So we can get more honey from Doug than we can from bees? Is that what you're saying?
Ooh, Doug honey.
We do.
Doug honey.
Get Doug honey. What do you think he carries around in them big hands?
Honey.
Honey. That's right.
I got stuck in the poo hole again, or what is that?
What? What? Albert Pujols? What?
No, the Winnie the Pooh. He gets stuck in the honey hole.
Honey jar.
Honey jar, yeah.
Gets stuck in the honey hole.
The poo hole?
The poo hole. Oh, my God.
Oh, my Lord.
I should be drinking. God.
Jason comes up
You're
with that
not?
stuff sober.
Whew. No, I'm not. I haven't had any all day. Oh, my goodness. Whew.
It's the COVID.
It might be. It might be.
It's making you delirious.
Oh, okay, Blake, what's the question?
He says, Jason, you have to be stuck in quarantine with one. Who do you choose? Uwe Boll, Kevin James, or Theo from A Million Little Things?
That fucking brat. I'm going with Uwe Boll. I'm going Uwe Boll. At least I can talk movies with him. Not good movies, but movies nonetheless.
You can talk movies with Kevin James.
Fuck him. He doesn't make movies. He makes shit.
And TV shows.
No, he doesn't make TV shows.
And you can talk geography with Theo.
You got a point there, Jeff. You got a point there. Fucking Theo.
And I think he likes dinosaurs, too.
Fuck him.
We were flipping through stations at Criminal Minds. There was a rerun of Criminal Minds on, and we watched it for a couple minutes. And then the next thing we knew, Theo from A Million Little Things was on there. The actor was
Did he
playing
get killed?
No.
Oh.
They were playing like kids that were like kidnapped and being held prisoner. And I think he was like the one lady who was kidnapped. He was like her son who they had in captivity or what. And it's like, oh, it's Theo.
Did he ask,
he wasn't a good actor then either.
Did he ask the kidnapper, did you know my mommy stopped the filling in of the Grand Canyon?
Yeah, no, because his mommy was standing right next to him. She didn't leave him.
You know what? If he was
Now, granted, they were locked up in a cage together, but
I feel like if that was the backstory, like that was connected to A Million Little Things, that's Theo's backstory, I can understand why he's so stupid, because it was traumatic. I get that. You know, it affected him. But since it wasn't connected, no, I can't forgive him on A Million Little Things. That fucking brat. Jeez. If I ever wanted a drive-by shooting in that show. What else we got?
From Beside a Geek, can Blake explain his quote last week? You get more honey with bees. Technically, it's true, but ... That's drinking and podcasting. Drinking and podcasting. Something Jason wished he was doing tonight.
I wish
and
I
that's
was
the
drinking.
thing is, apparently all the listeners picked up on your honey and bee quote, but we didn't.
That's funny. Oh my. All right, from Bob. Just Bob. Bob has no handle. It's just Bob. You can erase. This is tough, man. This is really tough. You can erase. Well, it says you can. Everybody said, well, let's make it. You have to erase. Yeah. You have to erase one sitcom from history. Which one do you choose? Seinfeld.
Okay.
The Office. And he says American version because you have to get rid of 10 seasons instead of 1 or 2 in the English.
Yeah.
So 10
Cheers.
episodes of the English.
Yeah, 10 episodes in English. Cheers or Community. Seinfeld, The Office, Cheers, or Community. You have to erase one.
I read that and I'm like, well, God, this is a setup for Jason if I've ever heard one.
Community.
He's like, 3 of Jason's favorite shows of all time and one he never watched.
And then one he never. Yeah, there you go.
You know what?
Jason pick.
I'll be good on this one, Jeff. I would eliminate the Community, but say I'm not. I would do Seinfeld, Office, or Cheers. I'll do Seinfeld, Office, or Cheers. I'm going to have to say probably Cheers. I think Cheers, and it's a good show, but some of the characters really annoy me in that show more than the other characters in The Office and Seinfeld. So
personally,
and they're Bostonians. Remember that.
Oh yeah, damn Bostonians.
Well, out of all of them, I honestly would probably get rid of Seinfeld.
You're not a big Seinfeld fan.
I mean, it's there. It's a funny show, but I mean, I've probably seen every episode. But overall, I don't rate it as highly as most other people I know.
Seinfeld is my favorite show of all time, sitcom of all time. And
can I just get rid of the last 4 seasons of The Office?
No, you got to get rid of the whole thing if you're getting rid of The Office.
I would say once Michael Scott left. Since he left, that was God. There were some rough years.
Yeah, if I was forced to, I'd probably do Cheers too. Now, if I had all 4, I'd probably say Community because I'd never religiously watched Community. I did pretty much Seinfeld and The Office, and the Cheers. I was still kind of too young to watch Cheers religiously.
I watched that with my dad a lot. Growing up,
that was one you sat with your mom and dad and you watched it because your mom and dad were watching it after dinner.
Of course, now I'm thinking about that's a tough one too because Norm and Cliff Clavin were hilarious in that show. Man, that is a tough one.
They were pretty good, and then Community. Everybody talks about the D&D episodes, and I still have yet to see the D&D episodes, and I want to see them, but I just never get around to them.
So, okay, well, what else we got? Sorry.
This one is from Pat. Just Pat. Pat. With Wonder Woman 84 being pushed back to October 20th, and the new Bond film being pushed to November 20th, we aren't going to see any films in traditional theaters until October, right?
Nope. August 28th.
What's that? What's that one?
New Mutants. August 28th. We're all going.
Or so you think.
You keep thinking that.
So did I see something about Tenet was pushed back, or are they still planning on opening that in July?
Let me see here. Because the Oscars got pushed back too, so a lot of the movies are okay being pushed back too. Did you see that, Jeff?
I saw the Oscars. But now the question is, does the release dates to qualify for this year's Oscars get pushed back?
Yes, they did. They were through February 2021.
That's stupid. That's going to fucking make it impossible to remember who won what year when they're
correct
movies.
So let me give you some. Let me give you some here real quick.
So that means next year there's only going to be 10 months worth of movies for their Oscars, huh?
Yeah, you're right, because it would be so. A Quiet Place Part 2 got moved from March till September of this year. Let's see here. I'm just trying to go through them.
Wasn't a lot of noise about that one.
The Batman moved from June 25th to 2021 to October of 2021.
Who cares?
Black Widow.
It got moved from June of 2021 to October.
Yeah. Well, a lot of this is production.
Fact that they have these. Yeah, I know, but fuck having release dates years in advance. That's not. If it's not filmed yet, the release date is worthless.
And what? And they're doing another Batman reboot, man. Who cares?
Hey, the Joker's in it though, Blake. 3 versions of the Joker.
Oh boy.
3 versions of the Joker?
Sorry, a new version of Joker. Sorry, new version.
Another version.
Black Widow went from May 2020 to November 2020.
Now I'm upset about that because it's got ScarJo and Pew in it, so I want to see that.
Candyman went from June 2020 to September 2020. Why is Candyman released in June?
Candyman 5?
Whatever it is. Doctor Strange went from May 2021 to March of 2022. Dungeons
second or third Doctor Strange?
Second. Dungeons and Dragons, the movie, went from November 2021 to May of 2022. Just to let you guys know.
Yeah, like I even trust that was ever going to come out.
I have a whole diatribe about that, by the way, but I don't want to take up another 20 minutes.
Have they even written a viable script for it yet?
Marlon Wayans is on top of it. You're fine.
It all goes here's the thing. All right, I'll try and condense it in 2 minutes. All right,
ready, go.
2 minutes, go.
Here it goes. It starts when Hasbro, when they took over Wizards of the Coast, who took over D&D from TSR. Hasbro went and said, you know what? We're not a novel book repository. We don't write books. So they canceled all their books, right? So any characters that were tied to Dungeons and Dragons that anybody has any affinity for has been tanked because Hasbro's piece of shit company, except for my one buddy who works for Hasbro, and I like him. He's all right. But anyway, overall, so you do that and you screw it. What makes the comics so good when they turn those into movies? Because you know the characters, you know what they do, and you want to see them on the big screen. And so any of the D&D characters that anybody has any affiliation for has been cut off by Hasbro in the D&D brand as it is right now. And what they're going to go to is probably something that nobody's going to recognize, and it's going to fail, and they're going to say, see, you can't do Dungeons and Dragons in a movie again, is because they keep fucking it up.
Well, the problem is they're not using the characters that I rolled up.
That too.
If they use those characters, it would be the best movie ever.
All right. Did I get under 2 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Real quick, The Flash. Jeff, this is the funny one, too. July 2022 to June 2022. Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Oh, they moved it up.
They moved it up?
Wow, by a month. Ghostbusters.
You're still making a Flash movie?
No way. Ghostbusters Afterlife went from July 2020 to March of 2021. Godzilla versus Kong went from November of this year to May.
Will Bill Murray still be alive when that comes out?
No.
'Cause he's getting up there in age, man.
Jungle Cruise moved back from July of this year to July of next year.
Jungle Cruise?
Yeah.
Is that the sequel to Jungle Story?
No. Jumanji.
Oh.
Mission Impossible went from August of 2022 to November of 2022. Why don't you calm the fuck down, people?
Hey, if you want to see Tom Cruise running,
yes,
there's 5 other Mission Impossibles.
5 other Mission Impossibles. Exactly.
There's 6. They're up to like 6 now, aren't they? This is the 7th.
I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize this. Morbius was supposed to come out next month. The movie, the vampire movie was from Spider-Man's universe.
Yeah.
It went
from Sony.
Yeah, it went from July to March of next year. Mulan is supposed to come out July 24th. That's being moved. Let's see here. No Time to Die, we talked about. Jeff, I know you're going to be upset. Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway, went from August of this year to, they at least put it in the right month, January of 2021. Put it in January. That's fine. So, yeah. I mean, Shazam 2 moved back a couple months in 2022. Soul, that's the Pixar one. That went from June of this year to November of this year. And Tom and Jerry, the cartoon, CGI, went from December of this year to March of next year. So
Tenet hasn't been moved?
Not yet. It does not say yet. Does not say.
How many years later are they on that Shazam 2? Like, aren't these all these? They're no longer children anymore, aren't they? Like jobless college graduates.
Well, the other thing is too. Top Gun got moved to December now. Oh no!
Oh, well, that's going to be.
I don't want to
bring the Christmas crowds.
Let's see.
As long as they got a shirtless volleyball scene again.
I'll be honest. I really don't think any new movies are going to be coming out for at least until September. I really don't.
August 28th.
Oh, it's not happening.
I've marked it on my calendar. It's not
happening, Jeff.
They can't move it more than 5 times.
Right. I can't wait for the 20th anniversary Blu-ray to come out before it even comes out in theaters.
With all the special features.
That's right. Special
behind-the-scenes footage.
What's your
the director's commentary.
What's your special feature? The movie. Here it is.
The movie.
What else we got, Jeff? Or Blake, whatever your name is.
Where are we? Oh, okay, Pat. There you go. Listener reviews from Dev, the Psy guy. He says he watched Ready Player One last weekend, and not the movie I was hoping for, but it was solid. I think they could have gotten 3 films out of the book and some of the creative liberties that were taken. B-. It's
higher than I gave it.
No, 3.75 stars out of 5.
That is one of the films that I actually have on my list that I wanted to watch during quarantine. I still want to see it because I've never read the books. I was like, I
want to get somebody who hasn't read the book's opinion because obviously coming from somebody who read the book, I was incredibly disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you and Dr. Bednar.
Yeah, and Dev's right that they had to cut so much out that it doesn't even feel like it's the same story. It's got the same skeleton, and that's about it. But the story suffered, in my opinion.
Do you think it'll get the? Blade Runner treatment? It'll be like 3 or 4 different cuts.
I don't think they filmed the right stuff for them to get the proper cuts. So.
Really?
It is. Wow. It is Spielberg, so the new version will just have walkie-talkies instead of weapons. So just be ready for that.
That's true. All those guns and missiles they were shooting will just be walkie-talkies and words.
The cars that they ride will just be walkie-talkies. That's it.
I don't get rid of cars. Come on.
Wrap this up here, Blake. What you got?
Yeah, from Professor Number One and Doctor Number One. What is the fewest amount of games that MLB can play that you'll be happy with?
Jeff?
Oh, that I'll be happy with. I don't think they can do less than 50, can they?
What was it, 48 today? I think they said 48.
God.
Who knows? All I know is they
48 maybe
big time. I really don't care how many games they play, just as long as I can watch and listen to something.
I don't even know if it's worth it at this point. If it goes less than 81, I don't know if I care. Like, I'm kind of like, okay, scrap this season.
It's like a mini season.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
It's like an exhibition season, really, for baseball.
And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with the NBA and the NHL.
Yeah,
like,
who cares?
They're trying to do playoffs.
The NBA, it's been like 3 months.
Yeah.
Since the NBA stopped the game, stopped in the middle of the game, and shut down. Who cares about the NBA? Oh, we're going to have a season champion. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
I think basketball players care.
Well, not Kyrie.
Basketball fans, I should say. I mean, I don't care because I'm not a fan of basketball in pretty much any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, but that's true.
But
If
I'm a
you're
fan of hockey.
Basketball, you'll take it.
I want to see hockey playoffs. So
I want to see everything. Just get it back.
So, I mean, I'll let the basketball fans get their basketball. If I can get my hockey, then.
But you know what? I don't even care about the hockey thing right now. Like, I'm like, whatever. It's been a couple months. You know, at this point, it's kind of like with baseball. I love baseball and I miss it a lot. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't need a 48-game season. I don't need that. At this point, scrap it.
Even if they have a World Series, it's going to be like a cheapened version of, the whole thing.
I say you do it.
Well, I mean, there have been several cheapened versions of World Series, though. I mean, 81.
Well, the Astros have done a really good job of cheapening those for the past couple of years.
My thought is, if you're going to do baseball, do it. What is it, 30 teams? Yeah, there's 30 teams in baseball.
30 teams.
Get rid of Tampa Bay doesn't count because they don't care, and the Marlins because they're awful. So do a 28-team single elimination tournament, and just do that. And let's see what happens. There's your championship.
Or do a round robin.
Yeah, you have to at least start with a
I
round
know. I was
robin.
just kidding on the single elimination.
Well, they can expand the rosters. They're going to have to expand the rosters.
Yeah, they said they would.
Somebody gets sick.
They said they would. I think it was 42 man. I think they said 42 man.
Well, they were expanding the major league roster to 26 this year anyway, because of their stupid god awful baseball killing ruling of you can only be a pitcher or a hitter, you can't be both, or you have to be designated one unless you're Ohtani is pretty much the exception to the rule.
The thing is, what's going to happen is that they're going to push DH through, and because of that, it's going to be never going back to non-DH.
Oh yeah,
they're
going to force the DH on people who don't want it, and
that's right. Never fail to take advantage of a good crisis.
That's right. Jeff, can you give me an intro to the news of the geek?
It's time for another installment of the news of the geek.
I'm sorry, Jeff. Were you going to say something on MLB? I'm sorry.
Nope, I was done.
I thought it was
my ranting and raving. My blood pressure is boiling. So
it's like flames on the side of my face.
Burning, heaving breath.
I love this story. Because number one fan Doug loves when every celebrity wants to be in a Marvel movie because shocking, they make money. So this is the best.
I want to be in a Marvel movie.
Exactly.
I read an article about that.
Yes, Jeff wants to be. Who do you want to be? Juggernaut?
Oh, I have to pick somebody?
Yeah, who do you want to be?
Shit, I don't care. Anybody. I'll take Blob for all that matters.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to be
Can
Squirrel
I be
Girl.
in the ScarJo and Pew Black Widow?
Did you just say ScarJo and Pubes?
ScarJo and Pew.
Pew. P-U-G-H. Pew.
Let's see here. Everybody wants to come back to Star Wars.
I mean, what?
What? Ahmed Best dealt with a lot of backlash after playing Jar Jar Binks in the prequels. The CGI character created by George Lucas struck a chord with a lot of younger viewers, but fans of the original trilogy couldn't get on board with him. It was rumored that we could see Jar Jar return in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney+. Like that's happening.
Yeah, I'd ruin it.
And the response to the news has been surprisingly positive. Best stated, I would return...
Bullshit. That's fake news.
It is. Best said, I would return as Jar Jar Binks, but it really depends on the story. Really? Really?
How much are they paying me? Okay.
This is for Blake. Tamerlan Blob played Star Wars. Blave.
To Blave.
It means to bluff.
Played Star Wars The Last Jedi's Broom Boy, a kid who
I hated this fucking scene in this movie, by the way.
This is your Theo. A kid who displayed some force powers during the final moments of Rihanna Johnson's movie.
Because everybody is special.
You can't even say Ryan.
It's Rihanna. To show that there were still plenty of people out there with the ability to use a force. But it's not a plot thread the Rise of Skywalker director J.J. Abrams picked up on.
Because the second movie destroyed everything in the first, and the third movie destroyed everything in the second.
So this kid who was in it for literally 30 seconds was interviewed. I don't know why. He says, I think it was unexpected, but everyone's reaction, it was just said, who is this boy? What could this mean?
Not me.
Is he
Not
the
me.
next Jedi?
Not me.
Who is he?
Not me.
The actor said, I think that brought, quote, I think that brought a lot of talk up about who my
Not
character really was. After I read the script.
Not me.
Stop it. I kind of understood that he was force sensitive. Well,
Not
no
me.
shit, Sherlock. You're doing a broom move with a sense of force. I thought to myself that could mean something about my character. Asked if
Not me.
This is the best part. Asked if he hopes to continue the character's story in future Star Wars projects. He said, "Yeah, I would be up for it." Well, of
How
course.
much are they going to pay me?
What else is this kid doing?
He'd be pretty stupid if he didn't. I mean, honestly.
I don't know. Jake Lloyd wasn't going to ever come back to another Star Wars project.
That poor kid.
I mean, seriously. This kid was in it for 30 seconds. Hey, you, in the background right there. Come on over. You want to be in the next Star Wars? Yeah.
He was in it for more than 30 seconds.
Okay, a couple minutes.
Yeah, because he had a scene earlier.
I'm going to try
Doing what? What was he doing?
sweeping out the stalls of those fake horse things.
Cleaning the shit out of the weird ass horses? I don't know.
He was getting a ring from Rose.
You know, the whole time I kept thinking, man, I really want the Broom Boy Trilogy now. God, we got screwed out of it.
Well, the Broom Boy Trilogy would be better than The Rise of Skywalker.
Let's go. Go get that Broom Boy. Yeah. Get the Broom Boy.
Can we get Torch Boy? Get Torch Boy in there, too. Yeah.
Bring in Torch Boy. Yeah.
Hey, who's the voice
I'm a
of...
Hollywood producer.
Who's the guy that did the voice of Watto? Can we get Watto back?
Watto would be a great...
The voice of Watto, sir, is the actor that played him. He's asking for $2 million. He said that he has high standards now. What should we do? That was your part, Blake. Sorry.
Bring in Broom Boy. Yeah.
Let's see here. Per Variety.
And,
yes, the Warner Brothers
I'd regret to
would
bring
like
in his
to
sister.
do a Broom Boy movie.
Yeah, bring in his
about
sister, Broom Girl.
That's
Broom Boy
about
and Broom Girl.
Wizards playing a sport, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that Quidditch game? Is that what it is?
Zoom, zoom on the broom.
As a punish in their participation of the rebels there in the casino. Now they're jockeys. See,
that would be perfect. Turns out Broom Boy is force sensitive, but only with the broom. So he can fly around on the broom, but can't do anything else.
Or when he fights...
And he's continually racing against his sister, Broom Girl. Yeah,
he attacks the Sith with a broom. They just chop it in half.
Yeah.
Give me another broom!
He just has to put a pointy end at the end of the broom and throw it at people.
I like it. Let's do it. Put it on.
The adventures of Broom Boy and Broom Girl.
Amy Pascal's on the other line. She said she wants this idea. Can we sell it to her?
Disney Plus.
Sir, you can't just yell out Disney Plus. That doesn't mean anything. Disney Plus. Disney Plus.
I declare bankruptcy.
Gotta find a role for my mistress.
Disney Plus. I think that's the answer to everything from now on. Disney Plus.
Is Weinstein still available? Call him up.
Oh my gosh. We'll do the job. Here we go, real quick. Pete Davidson's King of Staten Island was pulled from drive-in theaters last week.
Not me.
Basically, it was Friday. It was released Friday on video on demand only.
Not me.
Stop it. Universal said that they do this to everything, that they actually don't sell tickets to these video on demand ones. They did the same thing to Trolls, so that's why. Let's see.
I'm a fan of Apatow, but I don't know why he did this. But anyway, keep going.
I'm not a big Pete Davidson fan at all. He annoys the shit.
Neither am I. I don't think he's funny.
I don't either. The film's getting good reviews, though. I'm interested, but I'm not paying $20 for it.
But as I learned last week, who the real king of Staten Island is?
Who?
Guillermo.
Oh, you mean Mickey Guillermo? Mickey Guillermo from
Mickey Guillermo.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Guillermo.
Oh my God, that
Maybe
episode,
it
the
was
season
something I
finale.
said.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I
Is
love
that awesome
how,
or what?
I love
Did
how,
they bring in Jermaine Clement?
yeah,
Pretty good.
Yep.
I love
But they
how,
didn't bring in Waititi. I would have liked them bringing Waititi. That would have been cool too.
he was in it.
Tyke? Oh yeah, that's right. He
was in it, yeah.
real quick. Yes.
Was
oh
he?
My
Yeah,
God.
he was on the credits.
Yeah. He only had like a
Maybe
real
because
quick
he was
cameo.
in the flashback when they. I think he
No.
might have just been in the flashback when they flashed back to the council.
No, I think he was one of the guys at the gate entrance. He was in costume. You couldn't tell. You
Yeah.
really couldn't tell
Oh.
it was him.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't know why they wouldn't bring his vampire back if they were doing this, but okay.
Yeah, that
it
was
made me
funny.
it made me sad that this was last week for the What We Do in the Shadows. It was a season finale.
Yeah, but you're happy because
I'm happy because it's coming back for a third season. Thank God.
correct.
But I
Yes.
love how when Guillermo goes off, he just quits. And I love how they were trying to figure out what his name was.
Yeah.
Guillermo.
Yeah, what's his last name?
Maybe that.
Maybe
was-
Guillermo's his last name.
What's his first name? Mickey Guillermo? Yeah, look up Mickey Guillermo.
Well, here, I'll put in Guillermo, and yeah, there are over 5,000 Guillermos in the greater New York area. 4 of them are Mickey Guillermo.
Yeah, it was pretty
show.
funny.
And I did like how
That was great.
I like how
So
Colin,
yeah, so now the whole season 3 is Guillermo going to be
a vampire hunter.
vampire killer.
I did like Colin how the other vampires couldn't figure out how to get their clothes back from the laundry cleaner, the dry cleaner. So Colin's like,
The village washerwoman.
Yeah, Colin, where's the village washerwoman?
if I do this, I want to move out of my room. Yeah, you can move in my room. No, I just want to move into the other room in the basement. Such a great show.
That was pretty good.
I loved it when they went to the theater and Colin's like, oh man, there's even some great people in the energy vampire community. Oh, there's Pamela. Don't embarrass me.
Yeah.
And then later he's like, shut up, Pamela.
Well, the whole witches episode was hilarious too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because even after the whole thing, they still had boners from the experience.
I love that show. Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
I will say the season finale was creeped me out with that fucking doll. God, that creepy doll talks. Stop it.
Oh, I love the doll. I was worried that she was dead from a couple episodes ago.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. Let's see. Per Variety, we'll do a quick thing. An episode of the sitcom Faulty Towers, removed from a streaming site for containing racial slurs, is being reinstated. John Cleese basically came to the defense and said the decision to remove the episode is stupid, as well as taking a swipe at those who take a revisionist view of history. Early on last Friday, BBC-owned TV network UK TV announced on Twitter that it had temporarily removed the episode titled The Germans from its gold download service as it contained racial slurs. The service said it wished to review the episode and consider our options. It said some shows carry warnings and others are edited. Basically, it's the racial slur is a scene in which the character known as the Major uses the N-word while referring to Caribbean sportsmen. Let's see here. Later on Friday, UK TV said the episode would be reinstated in the coming days with the addition of extra guidance, quote unquote. Let's see
The
here.
trigger, that means trigger warning.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see. Speaking to Australian newspaper The Age, Cleese said, the Major was an old fossil left over from decades before. We were not supporting his views. We were making fun of them. If they can't see that, if people are too stupid to see that, what can one say? God, good old John Cleese at 80 years old. On Twitter, he doubled down.
John Cleese is not a fan of political correctness,
No.
by the way.
Cleese doubled down on his criticism of the BBC. He said, quote, the BBC is now run by a mixture of marketing people and petty bureaucrats. He wrote, it used to
You
have
always said pretty.
I
You were
did.
going to say pretty bureaucrats.
It could be. It used to have a large sprinkling of people who actually made programs. Not anymore. So BBC decisions are made by people whose main concern is not losing their jobs. That's why they're so cowardly and gutless and contemptible. He said it was wrong to judge older works of art by modern standards. He said, quote, the Greeks in 500 BC felt that culture or any kind of real civilization was only possible because of slavery. Does that mean that we should take down all the statues of Socrates? I don't know if there's really a lot of statues of Socrates around.
He just started it. There they go.
Now all the Socrates statues are coming down.
He added, the Romans enslaved the British for 400 years, so are we due reparations from the Italians? And Sir Isaac Newton was a shareholder in the South Sea Company, which included slave trading among its activities. What do we do about his statues? It's rather complicated. I don't know if there's many Newton ones. What did you say?
Test gravity?
Despite his criticism, Cleese applauded the Black Lives Matter protest movement, saying, at the moment, there is a huge swell of anger and a really admirable feeling that we must make our society less discriminatory. I think that part of it is very good. Let's see here. So there you go. He says, it seems to me that the best parts of the George Floyd protest have been very moving and very powerful. There are looters, just as there are rogue police. But if we let our focus be on the 10% who are always trying to fuck everything up, we might forget that.
I like how he said that.
I know. We might forget that what it's really about is trying to behave a bit more kindly towards everyone. Well said, Cleese. Well said, John. I love John Cleese.
Cheerio. Very good, I must say.
I will say I will not be tearing down any Socrates statues because I don't know if there is any in America. So I don't know if I can get to any Socrates statues around here.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we can find something wrong with Cincinnatus and tear his down in downtown.
Nope. Can't find anything wrong with Cincinnatus.
Or Cincinnati. We're special. Let's see here. Hey, Jeff, what are you doing?
Did you know that?
What? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, did you know that Cincinnati was the name of General Grant's favorite horse?
Ooh, that's a fun. We are a history podcast.
I missed that in the documentary.
I don't know if it was in the documentary. But...
Oh,
seriously, we are a history podcast. We are rocking it. Let's see here.
Yeah, well said, John Cleese. Thank you.
Jeff, where are you doing September 11th through 13th?
I hope to be going to the Cincinnati Comic Expo.
Fucking A, the Emerald City Comic Con canceled today. That means there can only be one. The Cincinnati Comic Expo.
Only one.
Get your tickets at CincinnatiComicExpo.com. They're at the Duke Energy Convention Center, September 11th through 13th. Hobie will be there playing trivia. We got a lot more Funko Pops to be given away during trivia. A lot of what you youngins called Fortnite. I got some new. We got some new Funko Pops there from Fortnite. I don't know who they are, but you youngins will like them. The two of them are Valor, and then two other ones I don't know who they are. But anyways, so there you go. So September 11th through 13th. Get your tickets now. And, yeah, hopefully we'll still be there. As of now, it's on. Woohoo! Let's see here. Jeff, let's do some box office news and world reports.
The top 5 at the box office this week, because there still is a box office. Number 1, Becky made $188,161.
Oh, my God. Becky.
A total of $482,593, almost $500,000 on an unknown budget. The Wretched made $148,583, a total of $1.3 million on an unknown budget.
The unknown budget, they were talking to people. They haven't released the exact figures, but the rumors are the whole movie cost between $30,000 and $50,000.
That's unknown.
So good for them, though. If that's true, that's a hell of a profit.
Especially in a time of pandemic.
Yeah, good for them.
Number 3, Strike made $2,249, a total of $14,000+ on a $17 million budget.
Oh my God!
I don't even know which movie was this.
Tom Hardy.
What's it about?
Is this Tom Hardy? Gerard Depardieu? No, not Gerard Depardieu. Gerard Butler. Whatever.
Gerard Depardieu.
I don't know. Just strike as in like baseball or bowling, or we're going on strike with our union,
I think
or
we're blowing
someone
shit up.
punches somebody.
It's a military strike.
Oh, so
We
that was
talked
like
about
my
this
fifth
last week,
guess.
Jeff.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I
it is
wasn't
so,
paying attention.
it is so bad. IMDb doesn't even have it listed when I search for it.
Are you sure?
I got to hit more results. Let me see what happens. There it is, 2018. No,
It's 2020.
There's a 1925 film.
it's not in here.
Is it under one of the stars?
I got it
Tom
on Rotten
Hardy?
Tomatoes. Here we go. Rotten Tomatoes.
There's a 2006 movie called Strike.
2020. It's a cartoon. It's a cartoon. Oh, God, it's a creepy-looking cartoon. A young mole from a family of miners is left with the terrible task of telling his father he does not want to be a miner. He wants to be a footballer. Mongo Morrison comes from the small town of Diggington, a gold mining town where where everyone is very proud to work at the mine. It's Mungo's big day.
I love it.
That's
terrible.
The day when he loses his virginity and comes of age. When he becomes of age and gets to spend his first day in the mine. How can he tell his dad he does not want to work at the mine? It will break his dad's heart.
Got the black lung.
Jeff, you ready? The mole with a goal. Should he tell?
I see that.
Will
I
he
bet
tell?
this is probably big.
Goal.
Probably big for the 365 flick blokes.
Will he tell?
It's probably did much better in Britain.
Let's see here. Alex Kelly is in it. Ken Stout. Tom Turner. Oh, that's about it.
So this is not at all the movie you thought it was.
No, it is not. It's a stop motion comedy. This apparently has been sitting on the shelf since 2018, which is a good place for it, said NPR Los Angeles.
That's a bookend.
Let's see here. A cute movie for very young children. Not for anyone else, just young children. So there you go.
Very young children.
So Strike. Okay. What else, Jeff?
Number 4, The Trip to Greece made $1,961, a total of $4,660 on an unknown budget.
Okay.
And number 5, The Fox Hunter made $193, a total of $973 on an unknown budget.
Can I throw something in here real quick, Jeff?
Sure.
Because this is the new movies at the box office. There's a lot of movies that are not new, but they're playing at the drive-ins. So, and there's also video on demand. Let's see here. The Invisible Man was tops this week, making $383,000 on video on demand. Trolls World Tour made $275,000. Let's see here. Let's see. They haven't really released The King of Staten Island yet. Let's see here. And just want to do the other one. Back to the Future made over $200,000 at the drive-in theaters this weekend, too. So just wanted to let you know that. So just a couple of the ones that were out there. But I thought that was interesting that Trolls and, what's his face? That fucking movie, The Invisible Man, still doing well on video on demand. So there you go.
The Invisible Man was actually kind of decent.
That's what I've heard.
liked it up until the point where it becomes obvious of what it is. And because it's good because it starts off in the beginning. You're like, is she hallucinating? Is she going crazy? Or is there something going on? And then it finally the movie makes a decision and it moves on from there pretty well. Not like Fantasy Island, which was a piece of shit.
I wanted to see
that. That was horrible. It was
There's
like
no way Fantasy Island could be bad.
Oh yeah, it was. It was a plot twist on a plot twist on a plot twist on another plot twist, and you're just like, if you would have stuck with the one plot twist, it would have been okay. But it's like you tried to outdo yourself several times.
But just when you think there can't be another plot twist, there's another plot twist.
Yeah, and they weren't good plot twists, by the way.
As
when you're turning Fantasy Island into a horror movie, what do you expect?
Yeah, that's true.
As Ian Malcolm would say in Jurassic Park, that's a big pile of shit. What you got, Jeff? What's coming
Are
up?
you proud of yourself for that?
I like that one. Shut up, Jeff.
Coming up, we have Followed.
A social media influencer and his video crew encounter true evil when they visit one of the most
The White
haunted.
House? Oh, wait.
They visit one of the most haunted hotels in America.
Oh, a horror movie.
One of.
Miss Juneteenth.
One of. So that means there's going to be sequels.
Well, yeah, it's a horror movie. A hastily, cheaply made horror movie.
Former beauty queen and a single mom prepares for her rebellious teenage daughter for the Miss Juneteenth pageant.
All right. Baby Teeth.
Okay, I like the title of this one. A terminally ill teen upsets her parents when she falls in love with a small-town drug dealer.
I'm afraid to know what the title has to do with the story. But anyway, and last and probably least, The Transcendence.
It's a 2018 film. A Rasputin-like drifter goes in search of an indie rock band that has gone missing. It's a musical.
Well, that actually sounds better than the other three, so I take my comment back.
Cast is Cecilia Deacon, Savannah Welch, Kathy Valentine, William Leroy, and Rob Franco.
So 5 people I've never heard of.
Yes. So there you go. So, top 5 this week was a little bit different. We did a little bit different here. An easy one this week.
Oh, it was?
Well, yeah, sure. Oh, shit, I got to make my list.
I haven't made a list for this either.
Jeff, did you?
Hey,
Nope.
Rob Franco, is that James Franco's brother?
No.
No, it isn't.
That's Dave Franco.
Time out. No one made a list.
Well, my list is none.
Top 5 movies you want to see at the drive-in.
I don't want to see any movie at the drive-in that requires going to the drive-in.
I had Jaws. I had Star Wars, Empire, and the Star Wars trilogy.
I mean,
Oh, wow, the Transcendence has Kathy Valentine. She's in the Go-Go's.
I think I said
oh, it's the girl from the Go-Go's. I have heard
Yeah.
of that. Okay.
We got the beat. We got the beat.
Yeah,
Hey, we got the beat. Wait a minute. Was I correct?
The words?
Yeah,
Yes.
kind of.
No,
you
no,
were
no.
correct.
The song.
in knowing that the words to We Got the Beat are We Got the Beat.
Was that the Go-Go's?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I am the man. I am. You might as well admit it. You're addicted to love. Robert Smith. Let's see here. So we fucked up. Nobody did top 5.
Because I really thought about it. I was like, I don't want to see any. You said new movies. I'd
Don't
go
say
see some
new.
old ones.
I just said top 5 movies.
No.
I didn't say no. I just don't want to go to the drive-in. I don't enjoy, or I went to the drive-in once in my life when I was 6.
Yeah,
I
if you're
can't
taking
imagine
kids, it's kind of.
enjoying the drive. I mean, yeah, but I'm not going with kids.
You know what annoys me? The people that go to drive-ins bring lawn chairs.
The only reason to go to the drive-in is you only pay per vehicle, so you just stuff a vehicle full of a bunch of people.
Not in this
Right.
time. Not in this period.
Oh, you don't? That's not even true anymore?
Well, not in social distancing. Get the fuck out.
Oh, well,
I thought it used to be like
Your
per
kids,
person.
though,
That's
I
why they
mean.
used to hide people in the trunk when you went in.
No, it's per
drive-in.
car. It's per car.
it was
Oh.
just to get people into the car that can't fit.
I think now they charge by the type of car. I think
So if it's a van, they charge more. than
van.
if
I'm not
it's a
kidding. I think it is.
convertible.
And then it's $5 if you want to bring your own food in.
How much if you have a motorcycle?
Can you bring your own grill?
Yeah, hibachi grill. Yes, you bring your own hibachi
Bring my
grill.
own grill. Can I grill out?
Okay, top 5 things you're bringing into a drive-in. Okay, Blake's bringing a hibachi grill.
Hibachi grill.
What do you got, Jeff? What do you got? What are you bringing in?
Prostitute?
I'm bringing a statue of Socrates.
There you go.
Jeff, Blake, what else you got? What else are you bringing in?
Honey.
The movie Honey or actual honey?
Honey.
Okay.
How am I going to get bees? And camel spiders.
I would love to see you release camel spiders in a drive-in. I think, Jeff, what else you got? One more. Come on, Jeff.
Barbecue ribs.
But no grill.
Well, Blake's
Now
gonna
he's
cook
parked
on
next
his
to me.
grill.
That's right.
I'm bringing a jar of mayonnaise. So there you go.
Now I'm worried. Wow.
God. Anyways, that was the worst top 5 ever.
It really was.
Anyway, so that was our mistake. Sorry about that, people. Actually, I was going to say something after that. Oh,
Our listeners had some answers, didn't they?
I have no idea. Did they? I think Dr. Number One did. He had a lot of Kevin James movies.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
Let's see here. Hold on. Yeah, I don't have anything. Anyways, moving on. Let's see here. The last one of the early times I remember of going to the drive-in theaters, I saw The Legend of Greystone, Tarzan.
Greystoke.
Greystoke. That was awful. And it was a double feature. After that was Armed and Dangerous with John Candy and Eugene Levy.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, that at least would have been better for a child. I mean, Tarzan Legend of Greystoke had to have been incredibly boring for a child.
Even my dad, who can watch a lot of movies, he was like, that was boring. That was awful. So
There was no Highlander.
there was only one.
Well, that did win the Academy Award for Best Movie Ever.
It may win the award this year because there's going to be no other movies released. Actually, if that's the case, it looks like Bad Boys for Life is going to win the Academy Awards. That or The Invisible Man.
You know what's going to happen, Jason?
What?
Kevin James is going to win an Academy Award.
You know, for Becky, you know what?
Becky.
I think it would be actually pretty fucking hilarious if they don't have any like big movies come out this year, and that's what they're going to have to do. Is that they're going to have to pick those movies. The Wretched's going to be up for Best Picture. Strike is going to be up for Best Animated Film.
You know they're going to start releasing the dramas in December still, or hell, they got till February now to release.
Correct. I know. I just think it would be kind of funny though. Well, Best Picture of the year goes to The Invisible Man. It beats out Bad Boys for Life, Becky, and The Wretched. Congratulations.
And Fantasy Island.
And Fantasy Island.
Yeah, that's the thing though with these things going straight to video on demand instead of in theaters, like something like Onward is not going to be eligible then, I assume.
No, Onward was in theaters.
Did it make it to the theaters?
Yeah, it made $60 million, and then it came out the week before the big everything hit.
I thought
2
it was
weeks
due
before.
to be the next movie.
No.
Okay, so it did. So Onward can win like best animated movie or something.
So for the next Netflix films, they have to be in theaters one time, right? They just have to be in a theater, right?
I don't know these specific rules, but they do have to play in a theater somewhere.
Okay.
I don't. It might have to be New York and L.A.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Which are the two of the hardest hit areas of COVID in the country.
Correct.
So, I mean, Des Moines, Iowa is probably pretty good with their COVID numbers and probably could have people in the theaters, where New York, I wouldn't even think of going there till a vaccine.
Do you think if we stopped doing tests of COVID, it would help the situation?
The numbers would drop if we stopped testing people.
I say we do it.
Or at least the verified numbers would drop.
I say we do it. I think that's a good idea. I think it's a good idea.
I would say we could eliminate coronavirus if we just stopped testing altogether.
Yeah, if no one tests positive for it, then did they really have it?
It's over with. That's right.
It's Schrodinger's virus. Is that it?
Just nope. We're done.
If you don't test for the virus, it doesn't exist.
So thanks everybody for listening. I don't know what this episode was. It was odd.
This episode was a result of lockdown and Corona.
I like that we had more history on this podcast than ever before. So people so now maybe people listening for a history podcast will actually be happy.
Put the Grant documentary in the hashtags.
I will.
And we had a crossover where while we're recording, someone else is recording.
Salty language.
So it's gonna show up on 2 different shows.
That's right.
I can't wait to hear Salty Language's episode now.
We may actually have to check our email again.
Yes, Jeff, please check email. Happy birthday to intern Hackney. Let's see here.
He must be having a really good night from the doctor wife because he's not in. He's not in.
He is not. Let's see here. So titles for the show. I had Hardware Talk. It's Greek to me. I never win trophies. Or I never won trophies. And Grant, a common man.
Every man.
And every...
I had Dred Scott Pirate.
Oh, God.
Welcome to the Cure. Doug Honey.
Doug Honey.
Stuck in the poo hole.
That's going to get us rated X.
Stuck in bunny or rabbit's
That's
fucking
going to get
hole.
us rated X. That's going to get us
That's a
rated X.
rabbit hole, not a poo hole. I had Broom Boy Trilogy.
I wanted it.
Yeah.
And
Broom
a jar
Boy.
of mayonnaise.
What was the last one?
A jar of mayonnaise.
Oh. I like the Doug Honey. I like Doug Honey.
Doug Honey.
I do like Grant, a common man.
I like the Broom Boy Trilogy.
I'll take Broom Boy Trilogy.
Broom Boy Trilogy it is.
The Broom Boy Trilogy?
Yeah, the Star
Broom
Wars.
Boy. Oh, okay. The. So that means you got to capitalize the T, H, and E. The Broom Boy Trilogy. Oh.
The Adventures of Broom Boy and Broom Girl.
I got a broom. Okay. Well, bad idea of the week. Number 895. This episode. This episode.
And the people who listened to it.
Yeah.
We're sorry.
We apologize. We'll be back.
Never apologize.
We'll be better next week.
Can't promise that.
Well, can we be worse, really? No.
Yes, we could. From this moment on, we're getting better.
Yeah. Only because Tony called did we even have something worth talking about.
That's right. Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
Walking Dead to Talking Heads, from comic books to TV sets, there's a history. It's not so bad, there's the history. It's the history of bad, so bad. The history of bad, it's bad. The history of bad ideas. Podcast.
You've been listening to Hobie.